Play Leyline. Play Misty. Yeah, so we have turn 1 Leyline, turn 2 Scion, and that should be game. Goblin Guide. All right, we're gonna binding that. Cast Scion, and we win. Okay, it's that easy. The new breakout deck this past weekend was unanimously Domain Rhinos, also known as Rainbow Rhinos or 4-color Rhinos. Temur Rhinos has been a tier 1 deck for a while, and now there's a potentially better Rhinos version. Let's talk about it. Domain Rhinos crushed this past weekend's events. Across 40 events, it put up some impressive results with a 62% win rate across the field. Everywhere you look, people are calling for bans, worried about their pet deck. Should you be worried? I don't think so. So where did this deck come from and what makes it so powerful? Murder at Karlov Manor officially released this past weekend, and it includes some modern staples, many of which are in this deck. The heart of this new domain list revolves around Leyline of the Guildpact. This is like any other Leyline, so if it's in our opening hand, we can begin with it on the field. It says each non-land permanent we control is all colors, and lands we control are every basic land type. So why is this so powerful? Scion of Draco. With Guildpact in play, Scion becomes a 2-mana, flying, hexproof, vigilance, first strike, lifelinking trampler. That's a lot of keywords. We also have access to Leyline Binding, which becomes a turn 1, 1-mana answer to almost anything. This sequence of cards is simply unbeatable and wins the game on the spot. Let's take a look at the rest of the deck and talk about some more changes. Alright, so let's get into this Rainbow Domain Rhinos list. Starting with the land base, very similar to what we've been running before in our 4-color domain list. Just a couple additions with the new Surveil lands that just came out. If you didn't see my last video, we played the Surveil lands 5-0'd, make sure to check it out. But in this list, we're running Lush Portico, which is the Forest Plains Surveil land, and we have Thundering Falls, which is the Island Mountain Surveil land. So it might look a little weird, we're playing 3 tap lands, but because we're fetching for them so often, it's very rare that they kind of mess with our land base. I've seen comments before where it's like, oh, I'll never play tap lands, or what if we draw them and then we can't play our spells on curve, but it rarely happens. So I'm very happy to play as many Surveil lands as I can fit into my deck. As for the rest, we just have normal fetch lands, 3 basics just to play around Blood Moon effects, and 1 Boseiju, just because it's flexible, we can play it and it helps get rid of Chalice, Blood Moon, and anything else. For the main deck, we have our normal teamer spells, so Footfalls, Outbursts, all the Cascades, Subtleties, Fire Ice, Lauren Revealed. What we have added though is this package right here. So we have 4 Leyline Binding, 4 Scion of Draco, and 4 Leyline of the Guildpact. So as I talked about in the intro, Leyline of the Guildpact combos very well with Leyline Binding and Scion of Draco. If we have Leyline out on turn 0, we have Scion, which costs 2 and has all the abilities. So has Vigilance, Hexproof, Lifelink, First Strike, Trample. It's unbeatable. It's insane. And then we have Leyline Binding. So this spell only costs 1 if we have Leyline out. So the normal curve is Leyline into turn 1 Leyline Binding on whatever they play, into Scion of Draco, and then just win from there. For a sideboard, I've seen a lot of people have different sideboards. This is kind of what I settled on. It's a little mix of everything. We have 2 Draenith Magistrate. This is for the mirror and for Living End. So we do cascade into this, but it's pretty hard to beat for the Rhinos and for Living End. So definitely a good Cascade card. And because Cascade's so popular right now, I do like having 2 of these at least. We have 2 Force of Vigor for artifacts and enchantments, 3 Endurance. Again, Living End's very popular. Murktide's very popular. Bring them in for both. 1 Brotherhood's End. This takes care of chalices, small creatures, good against Yawgmoth. We have 2 Magus of the Moon for Blood Moon effects, typically Amulet or Tron. You don't really see Tron that much, but Magus is really good against Amulet, so bring that in. Same with Tidebinder. We bring this in against Amulet. Anything with activated abilities, even in the mirror for Rhinos, stops the Cascade trigger. And then we have 3 Disputes. This is good in counter matchups. All right, so that is 4-color Domain Rainbow Rhinos. I guess that's what we're calling it. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get in the gameplay. All right, welcome to match 1. We're on the play, and this is a hand of all lands, 1 Force Negation, no Leyline, so we're definitely gonna mull this one. And this hand has no lands, so unfortunately we're starting off with a mull to 5. Not what we like to see. This hand's also pretty awful. We're gonna have to keep. Now we gotta decide if we're gonna just either keep Leyline, hoping to draw Scion, and I guess Leyline Binding. Probably play for high upside here. It's gonna be weird, so we're gonna put back 2, probably 1, 2, and then suspend Footfalls on turn 1 and just kind of hope to get there. I think we have to play for the high upside because we mulligan so poorly, or mulligan so much. We're actually on the draw, not the play. So Surveil land, blue-white. So let's see how this goes. Draw a land, not exactly what we want. I guess we're just gonna use the green. Cool thing about Leyline is we don't even have to crack our fetch lands. Tapped Watery Grave. All right, so this is like Esper or something. I mean, luckily they're not doing anything while we just do absolutely nothing either. Oh God, not like this. All right, so we will What we probably should have done was actually crack this at upkeep and see what we would have drawn. That would have been smart, but we'll just suspend another one, I guess. So this will go get a surveil land. We really need to probably, all right, consider, we'll stop at our upkeep. Well, I guess the difference is too, if we, maybe not, because if we surveil, then we don't have that land to tap for. If we draw like, we're actually not going to do that, because if we draw any Charlotte's or Outburst, we want the, so we'll fetch here, go get a Thundering Falls, get a surveil on, we put that in the graveyard, suspend. And this looks to be, are you kidding me, guys? Oh my God, dude, 3 in a row? What else is new, right? All right, so we're going to, I guess, suspend, play this tapped, and pass. So, oh my gosh, 3 footfalls. Welcome to the channel. This happens often. Opponent cracks the Delta for another Scrylam. Again, the only good thing about this is because we're up against control, they're gonna have to counter each one, like our upkeep. Faithful Mending. Oh, is this if this is Reanimator, this is sad. So if they reanimate Galta and their hand is just full of fatties, we just lose. Play a Delta. They have 5 cards in hand. They can do a lot here. Get an island for Tainted Indulgence. Again, they can still have Goryo's Vengeance, which is instant speed, so they can do this whenever. They can do it at our end step and just have hasty creatures. So we have 3 Rhinos on suspend. Let's see if we draw the 4th. Yep. Charlotte's Agent. I mean, I guess we're gonna cast Charlotte's Agent. I don't know, like, we just have to hope they have absolutely nothing. They could have a counterspell too, but we're gonna make them have it. So this is the 4th Rhinos. So any other Cascader we draw is just garbage. Main deck Fluster. All right, we're not going to pay for any of that, obviously. Main deck Fluster. Wild first game, huh? All right, we're going to yield, see what they do. They have a Faithful Mending in their graveyard. They have, oh man. All right, so they suspend Tutor, so they can get whatever they want in a couple turns. All right, we'll just auto yield to all that. Main deck Silence? Oh my gosh, that is crazy. All right, we're not going to cast that. Main deck Silence, and okay. Draw Subtlety. Our draws have been awful, and apparently they have like pre-sideboarded against us. Guess I mean, we have Subtlety, pitch Subtlety, if nothing else, but it's not looking too good. We can get a Surveil land at the end of our turn. I will crack this, get a Surveil land, Lush Portico. I mean, we got to bottom that, I guess. We could top that and just like counter to make sure our stuff resolves, but I don't think that's necessarily a winning line. Action, maybe like Scion, maybe. But maybe we do keep the Force Negation because we have Rhinos coming off suspend, and the only way we lose is to like Goryo's here. We'll probably keep it for the, probably should keep it for the Profane Tutor, actually. Tainted Indulgence again. We're really, really far behind, so I kind of just want to jam here, but I don't think it's incorrect to keep the Force. But turn 6 and we're like just getting Rhinos online is just an auto loss. There you go. Say main deck Silence, main deck Fluster. Let's just see what they get before we scoop. Like they're gonna get Goryo's here. They get a Plains. Yep, Goryo's. What do they have in hand here? Let's scoop to that. Unfortunate game 1. All right, so against Esper, I'm considering this right here. What's like not good in this matchup? The Leyline Scion package is like fine, but it's not backbreaking just because their creatures are all massive. So I'm considering siding these, like the package out here. If we do that, if we just go like hardcore sideboard in for that, I think that's fine. We don't necessarily need the Guildpact for Leyline Binding, and I don't think Scion is going to be doing much in this matchup. Could have turn 2 Scion, but they could just Emrakul on turn 3 and nothing matters. So I'll be on the play and we'll keep this hand. We don't have any early interaction necessarily, but we have a lot of Rhinos. So lead off on a Misty and pass. We don't have any sideboard cards either, which is something to be aware of. So we could get Surveil land here, most likely. We could get Xander's Lounge into Temple Garden to have Leyline Binding up, but I think we're going to get Lush Portico here because we can always get that later. All right, so we're going to put a land in the graveyard. That was a good surveil. And we draw another land, man. Our draws are not going well today. All right, so we'll play another Misty and pass. This will probably get the Triome here. I could get Thundering Falls, depending on what they do. If they put something like big in the yard, the Surveil lands are great with their deck too, being a graveyard deck. All right, they've been a land. They shotgun a Hallowed Fountain, so that's going to be either Tainted Indulgence or whatever at the end of turn. Because we have another fetch, we are going to get another Scryland or Surveil land. So we get our Thundering Falls, Surveil. I'll take a Force after all that. So I guess we are just going to end of turn Outburst. We're just going to hold up. We'll shock that in. It's going to be pretty obvious, but I don't want to play the fetch land and then do like get a tap land, or like the only way we get our Triome is if we, all right, so they know this is coming. We got to remember they have Fluster, they have Silence, they have everything. So maybe keeping Scion in is a good idea because we know they have all those hate cards, but I also kind of like playing, all right, that's fine, whatever. Just kind of playing like the hate plan as well with Endurances and Blood Moons. Because if we get like a Blood Moon out, I mean, they only have, if we had an early Magus. They could easily have silence here next time too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've drawn like garbage here. All right, we will, I guess, just play Shardless. We have to, right? We're not doing anything else. And see if they cast silence here. They see the Magus. It lands. Faithful Mending. Unfortunately, we don't have a blue card to pitch, and they been Atraxa and Croxa. Hopefully they, well, I mean, they're never just gonna get back Croxa. Wow, they are, okay. Oh, well, that's gonna get back, so that'll get back Atraxa, and we can't Leyline Binding that. All right, so they get back Atraxa. So this match is pretty cut and dry. They just kind of had the nuts and we had absolutely nothing. So we'll just execute to that. There's like no way we're winning this one. All right, match 2, we're on the play. Man, these hands have been, so we have 2 Footfalls in hand. We have 3 lands, a Leyline. Like we can do way better than this, right? Suspend. This is tempting though, because we can go Misty, Footfalls, and we have Leyline in play for Leyline Binding, but like the hand does nothing. I think we can mull. All right, this hand's even worse. Essentially 6 lands. Gonna mulligan again. All right, we'll keep this, put back Lorien. I'm not sure actually. We could put back Footfalls and Beseju and just go like Thundering Falls. Never playing Scion on turn. We have Lorien for force. I think I'm gonna put back the 2 blue cards. I'm just gonna suspend and then hope the Surveils get there, I think. Opponent leads off on a Hedge Maze, which makes me think the Mirror, which is unfortunate because we're on 5. A very, very terrible 5. They put Breeding Pool in the yard. So that first hand, if we knew we were on the Mirror, I'm probably would have kept knowing we were against the Mirror, but all right. So we'll play Thundering Falls and get our Surveillum, put that in the yard and pass. All right. So unfortunately, we still can't cast Scion next turn with the way our lands panned out. Looks like they're holding up ice anyway. Spend goes on 3. Ice Thundering Falls. Oh, Beseju. Okay. Draw Lorien revealed. All right. Play Misty, pass. We'll just cycle this. Actually, we don't know if they're on Temur or... I'm just going to crack this now because I want to play around. So we'll get the Scryland right now, and then this can go get Xander's. Nah, I think that's too slow. We'll cycle now. Again, play around Tiebinder. So next turn, we'll have Scion plus Leyland up. I'm assuming they're just going to slam Shardless Agent here. On the mountain still, too. All right, I guess they have Outburst playing around Tiebinder. Yeah, if we can get Guildpact, Scion going, that's pretty good. All right, so we draw a Scion, play 1. And hold up Leyline Binding. I don't think they're going to subtlety this, right? Yeah, if we had Guildpact, this would be nuts. Do we want to keep this? I guess we can just go like double Scion next turn. Binding at the end of turn, let's see. Well, Binding a Rhino at upkeep because they don't have double blue for force pitch here if they wanted to. Yep. They cast Footfalls, go to their upkeep, cast Binding. They shock into Steam Vents. So that leads me to believe they either have just like hard cast Subtlety probably. I mean, Rhinos is coming off suspend, so they could just hard cast Force as well. So we'll cast a Rhino, see if they have the Force here. Looks like they do. Oh, they have Tidebinder. Oof. We get to draw a Scion again. Oh no, that's not how that works. They didn't get the oops. I wasn't paying attention. You have to stifle the Cascade, not the Rhinos coming off suspend. Because coming off suspend isn't you have to stifle the last counter coming off, not the actual casting of it. Little mistake by the opponent, but now we're in the driver's seat a little bit. We obviously needed that to have any fighting chance. So no cards in hand. Opponent has 4 cards in hand though. They could easily just like shard this here and do something. Guildpact would probably be the best draw. It would be the best draw. Drawing Guildpact would be the best draw, which is crazy to say. They shock in a Stomping Ground. They bounce a Rhino, and they play a Murktide. Oof. All right, we draw our own Shardless Agent. That's going to buy some time. We know this resolves because they only have 1 card in hand, and they can't force it. This is going to be a stalemate until we draw more than them, but we can't attack. We can double block the Murktide if we want. If they attack with Murktide, we're definitely going to double block. But again, Guildpact is still the best draw here. They play a land. Let's see if they get in with Murktide. So if we take 7, we swing back without 14. I think we just take this and they concede. Okay. That was an interesting play. What would we have drawn? And the game doesn't load. Okay, cool. So we won on a mull to 5. That's pretty absurd. So we're against Temur Rhinos, so we definitely want to hopefully hit that Leyline package here. But we have a lot we can bring in. Not sure what we want to take out though. Binding isn't the greatest. Subtlety's not the greatest. If we go 3 and 3, let's see if we do this. 61. Taking another Subtlety, I guess. We have enough threats to where we don't need that 1 of Endurance. I think the 1 of Leyline Binding's fine. Outburst into Magistrate. We have Magistrate in hand, which is pretty good too. We'll keep this. We can go turn 1 Thundering Falls into turn 2 Magistrate. We don't have the Leyline, unfortunately, but it's okay. We'll see if this gets Subtletied as well. This Stomping Ground tap. Tidebinder. All right, Thundering Falls. This could also get an island or a Plains. I'm considering. Shardless. How greedy is that to bottom that? I just don't want to get blown blown out by Blood Moon. We have Shardless, we have Scion, turn 2, turn 3. I think we'll keep it. We'll see what land they play next. If they play around, if they start playing basics and stuff, we might be a little worried, but it could be maybe greedy. I don't know. Especially because we're not getting an island here. What's also going to suck too is if which they could like ice us, they could go get an island into our forest into, oh no, they can't get green here. Okay, I guess we have to, I don't know. I guess we're going to play aggressive here and hope we don't get Blood Mooned out. This could get subtlety, like we said. Opponent's reading the card. No, they pitched subtlety. I mean, they pitched dispute, subtlety. Yep. We want this on top. I guess. We're just, again, really hoping they don't have Blood Moon. Because our land base, our mana this game couldn't support fetching basics here. We could have gotten a plains here, but then we don't have any green to cast Shardless Agent. Hoping they don't just get a forest here. Okay, sweet. No forest is good. All right, they've been a forest, which means we're assuming that they have a forest. We're also assuming that they have Rhinos on this turn. Wow, they don't. They put Misty in the graveyard. And they don't have ice either. Cast Magistrate again. They could have Gone, like end of turn Gone maybe. I'm not sure what they have. But no Rhinos is just like massive because now we just get to go like Rhinos, even though they have forces probably. I mean, we're not going to attack. I mean, we could attack. Do we want to attack and just stifle? Because they didn't have play this tapped, but then they could have, actually, I don't want to attack because they could have well, I mean, the Rhinos aren't going to come off. They can't cast Rhinos, so I guess we can attack. There's nothing that they could have, and we have Tidebinder anyway. They could have Dispute. I mean, they could just have like Gone maybe. I don't think what they could have. They could flash in Subtlety. Yeah, I don't want that. I mean, they didn't have Subtlety before. I think this is fine though. How much does that cost? Scion costs 2. I guess we just play Scion because that gets around Force, which we're assuming that they have. They could also have, okay, they don't have hard cast. They also could have maybe just played Scion and then attacked. I don't know if we're being too afraid of, if they had Subtlety, they would have cast it, but maybe they drew it last turn, so I didn't want to attack into that. I think that's fine to play safe. So they play Scalding Tarn into a Ketria tapped. I feel like this isn't a good play. You don't want to turn 5 Ketria here because you'd rather cycle that. All right, we draw an island. I guess we attack with all. If they have anything, we can ice whatever, we can Tidebind or whatever. I'm just gonna pass. We could Shardless here. They could just hardcast force it. I kind of want to just hold up Tidebinder. I think this is fine. We could also end of turn do some stuff with ice. Scion's gone. I guess I should have been expecting forces too for Scion and Guildpact. Maybe we're playing too scared. They suspend. I guess we'll just ice that. They still have hardcast force up, which sucks. Oh, we have Dispute. Great. It's actually really good. There you go. That's what we were playing for. Playing the patient game. They could also cast Tidebinder as well, but they have to stifle this. If they let us cast this, then right here comes the hard cast force we knew assumed. Yep. Yeah, as soon as they pitch this force, you know they have another one. And then Rhinos, I got Magistrate get in there. I wonder how many suspend cards they have stuck in their hand, or how many Rhinos cards they have stuck in their hand. This isn't how I expected to win this match, but we're doing it. Opponent's paying costs. I'm assuming a Murktide. We'll hold 6/6 and draw land. It's gonna be a scry land. I mean, we're just gonna play more Rhinos. Oh no, we hit a Magistrate. Not exactly what we wanted. I mean, I guess okay, now we'll play more Rhinos. We're not gonna get the Scryland here. All right, and they concede to the millions of Shardless Agents and double Dragoneth Magistrate. Sweet. All right, this hand does absolutely nothing. We're gonna mull. I guess we'll keep this, just put back a Lorien. It's just all in on Rhinos here with some, all right, we'll lead up on Misty and pass. This will go get a Scryland. All right, they play Scalding Tarn. This will go get Thundering Falls. Brotherhood's End. Play this. We'll cycle end of turn, go get, we have our our necessary colors here. Definitely gonna want double red for end here as well. And they get the Ketria. It's a Vi tapped, okay. Man, I'd love to get if we could draw Magus, that would be insane. I'm just going to get an island here. I'm going to play for the high upside. Maybe draw Magus. Jeez, the worst draw possible. All right, obviously we're not going to cast that. We're going to end up turn Outburst. But they have Spell Pierces, they have Reprieves. It's pretty tough against creativity matchup. They play Ren. Interesting they played their land first. We'll Outburst. They're probably going to Fluster or Spell Pierce or something with the Steam Vents here. Wow, that resolved? Holy crap. Did not expect that. All right, they could have Leyline Binding. I feel like they have to, right? If we send both at Ren. Are they keeping Leyline in? They probably are. I think we just kill Ren here. They're not F6, so, or like end of turn, so I think they have Leyline Binding available. So that makes it tough because I kind of want to hold up Hardcast Mystical Dispute if they go end of turn. I think that's what we do. If this was an untapped land, we would have suspended Rhinos though. 3 Triomes. If we could get Magus out, there's the Dwarven Mine. Let's see if we played our cards correctly. They don't do anything. We're totally fine with that. All right, sure. All right, we'll attack. That's a weird chump. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're just gonna pass. We're gonna hold up. They're gonna like Prismari command them. Oh, Bolt. Do we still want to hold up? Maybe they still have bolts in there. Because here, if we just pass, we can hold up Force but that's gonna take 3 turns. I don't think suspending is gonna do anything in this board state. We can also force pitch Shardless and hardcast Dispute as well if we need to. Not sure if we're playing too conservative. Another land, another Rhinos. Oh my gosh. Drawing all the Rhinos. I'm just gonna pass. They're dead in 2 turns. They're cracking now. I wonder if they're gonna try to with counter backup, I guess. That's what it looks like. Because obviously we're not doing anything. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 with like fluster backup, it looks like. Is this like silence? Yeah, what? That's weird. I guess I just didn't have anything. I feel like they would have left open something else. Maybe N can go. Because we have Magus, we want Lorien. Maybe like 1 Scion. All right, this hand, tap land, do nothing. We have the disputes, no lands, double dispute. I'm gonna mull this one. I guess we'll keep this and put back, I don't know, Force is pretty good in this matchup. So is Dispute. Leyline Binding is not the, I mean, it's the 1 mana we could, that's thanks. This is a really good 7. Go back Binding. Let's try that. Put Leyline into play. I don't know if that's too greedy. We'll see. Maybe they'll waste the Leyline Binding on it. Steam Vents. We'll draw Surveil Land. Don't think we need Boseiju. We'll pass. We don't need another necessarily artifact destruction right now. If we could get Magus though, Magus would be sick. I think that's what we're going to be looking for, honestly, is Magus. You got to remember, it's never lights out. They kept bolts in, and they also have Fable, and creativity is also, I don't know why they would keep bolts in though. Steam Vents tapped. Okay. Play Flooded Strand. Pass. This will get another Surveil Land. There's a mountain. Is this Fable? It was going to be Fable. They were tapping. I wonder what they were going to tap for. Maybe they don't want to tap out. Oh, I don't know what they would want to. Fire, Ice. I'm going to bend that as well. Another land. We've drawn all lands. I guess they didn't want to tap out of Fluster. That's the only thing they could have is like Fluster or like Dispute, I guess. I wish we had anything but Shardless here. I think we just pass. Kind of time walk them. If we're not casting anything, they're not going to be able to counter anything, so they just kind of wasted the turn. There's Dwarven Mine. Maybe they tap out for... So they still hold up Dispute here. I mean, Fluster. Didn't mean to crack that, but that's fine. Dispute it, see if they want to fight over it. That's fine. Could have forced the Spell Pierce. I don't think that's a winning line. Right now our hand is pretty garbage, so I don't think we're winning anyway, but we'll see. I feel like we just lose... Like, if we cast Shardless Agent, we just lose to... whatever, and if they could just attack and do nothing. I don't know. We'll take a turn off, I guess. We could slam Shardless here just because they're tapped out. But if they go all in on creativity, I think we like lose regardless. So maybe we should just play Shardless Agent and hope they don't have it, because if they have it, we counter it and then they counter back, we just lose anyway. But we wouldn't be able to counter it if we cast Shardless Agent. They've been Leyline and Steam Vents. Yeah, they have it. Just gotta hope they don't have like counter backup, but there's no way they don't, right? Yeah. Silence. Into attacks, into creativity. Yep. Damn. Unfortunate. All right, match 4. We're on the play. And actually, we're on the draw. We're going to keep this, though. We have Leyline. We have lands, Leyline Binding. It's a pretty solid hand. Against Burn. I mean, at least we don't have to crack our lands too painfully. Footfall's on top. So depressing. Holy moly. I guess we suspend. Like, I don't know if we're just Leyline Binding, Goblin Guide, or what. All right, no more creatures is good, I think. Lorien revealed. I don't think we want that. Eidolon, okay. So let's go get a Scry land here. So we can put that to the bottom. Oh, we were gonna draw another Footfall as well. So we crack that so we don't draw the Lorien, and then we get to put a Footfalls to the graveyard. So that's a good turnout. Force and Negation's pretty good. So we'll pass. We can Leyline Binding this on attacks. They're cracking now. Get a mountain. Force and Negation. All right, we'll cast Leyline Binding. Eat Eidolon. See if they have more. Skewer. Okay. Suspend Rhinos. That's weird they didn't. Now we have double Force, which is nice. This isn't nice. We're gonna have to go to 8 here. Cast Rhinos here. Go to 5. They have 2 cards in hand. Oh, you know what? I meant to cast Outburst. I wanted to cast Outburst there because I want to save forces. Pitch Force. So now I'm going to have to pitch double forces here. They know I have 1 force. That's good. To draw a card. Eidolon. Okay, not the worst, I guess. Except we have Rhinos on suspend. There's a Scion. Do we just die to this? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think we just die. This was just a little too late. Maybe they like double block 1. We needed this way earlier. They chump. God, I keep That's so annoying. I keep cracking when I just mean to tap for mana. So now we're just like dead. Because we have to counter something. We just die to... Unless they have absolutely nothing. Oh my God, I can't believe it. That's like, what do they have? They have 3 lands in hand or something? This is how this matchup goes. They either have it or they don't. Got super lucky there. All right, against Burn. I think like Subtleties for Disputes. Hidebinder maybe for Vortex. People are weird about boarding out Footfalls, but I think in the Burn matchup you can. There's nothing else really we want. Like Brotherhood's End. Maybe we want that for Chalices actually. But we have the Leyline Bindings and Forces. I think that's fine. I don't want to overboard here. That's crazy. We pulled that out. Oh no. We have everything except for lands. This would have been the nuts. We can't keep this. This is nuts here too. We're gonna mull. Oh no. 3 ley lines. I think this is a 4. This is just, I don't know. I mean, we could, I guess we keep this. Going to 4s, we're never gonna win going to 4. We'll keep in this, in dispute. There's no way we're ever winning to 4. I think we're gonna have to double scry here and hope to get there. Jeez, that could have been an amazing 7 too. Swift Spear here for 1, sure. Get our scry, get our surveil on. Valiant Outburst, we'll keep on top. This will go get, I mean, I don't know. This could get, nah, I don't want to take damage. I think this will just get the Thundering Falls into Outburst. And then we have this as, maybe we'll end up pitching for Vortex here. Best case scenario, Rift Bolt suspended. Okay. Interesting. They didn't have any 2-mana spells, I guess. Not sure what they kept. Skewer? Yeah. Skewer down to 12. We take 3. We could ice this as well. Could have been a play. Down to 9. Down to 6. Oof. Okay. Down to 1. Oh, okay. Well, all right. Their hand was insane. I guess we could have countered one of those. We could have, like, we didn't know to tap down, whatever. And that was a terrible 5. So I'm glad that happened when we mulled to nothing. Because if we kept a good 7 and that happened, that would have been brutal. Yeah, I mean, we should have countered one of those because we were drawing Rhinos next turn anyway, but we still take, we'll go to 4 or 5 or whatever. There's like no way we're getting out of that. Maybe. I mean, after that first game, I should have countered 1. All right, we're on the play this time. 1 land, we're gonna have to mull. Keep this. Put back, play Leyline, play Misty. Yeah, so we have turn 1 Leyline, turn 2 Scion, and that should be game. Unless they have like Wear or Tear or something. Goblin Guide, let them attack first. Mystical, all right, we're gonna binding that. Cast Scion, and we win, okay. It's that easy, it's that easy. All right, the final match, we have Surveilling in the beginning, and then we have our Footfall, so I think we'll try this. But we get to scry, ball with themselves. They like what they see. No, we finally drew it. We haven't drawn it yet this league. Keep that on top. It's like a fine turn 2 play. We do have the Lorien revealed, so maybe that's not the greatest, but if they play creatures, they're gonna like consider here. Yeah, maybe they like dash Ragavan or something. Nice. Okay, good reason to keep it on top. So they get the Fire Rays, which is worthless. Leyline Binding. I didn't even mean to click that. I don't even know how that happened. All right, so I guess we don't get our Surveil on. That's unfortunate. Dash Ragavan. Yep. We'll cycle now. Get a breeding pool. Yes, they hit Rhinos. Awesome. They pass. So they have like Counterspell, Spell Pierce up, sure. I guess we don't want to do that at their upkeep. So at least we have like Pass, Outburst, Untap, Shardless, all that stuff. Firebluff Canal, Ragavan, and then we're going to Outburst. They're going to counter it. This is kind of like hard to beat this start, just like the Ragavan Counterspell backup start. This resolved? What the heck? No way. 5 cards in hand. Wait, what? They attacked with Ragavan. They have like a Bolt for this? Okay. Jeez. What is their hand? I guess we're getting more Rhinos down. That is crazy. I'd never thought that would have resolved. Now they're in for a world of hurt here. All right, cast Rhinos. I don't understand. That's so strange to me. Why didn't they counter the first one? We're going to keep this on top. Well, I guess it sucks because if they Murktide here, we don't have it. I was going to keep it on top for Murktide. Hopefully they just go like iteration. It looks like they're going, I mean, if they go Giant Murktide, we have Leyline Binding anyway. All right, so they play Shredder. They heat the other Rhino. That was so weird that they let that resolve. They just counter that. I guess they didn't have enough mana to counter maybe the next one they were thinking. I don't know. Now they're tapped out. Now we just get to binding this. Yeah, we're just going to shard this here. They're going to get the Connive, but we're going to get more Rhinos. This is our last set of Rhinos here. They're tapped out, so we're going to get under a Pierce, and they pitch a Murktide. Ooh, so that means if they cast Murktide, we get to Subtlety it. All right, well, Island Cycle. I mean, we could Subtlety it. We could do whatever. We could probably let it resolve and just Leyline Binding it, to be honest. Probably do that and just double Leyline, and then they lose. Fight over. See if they play a land to have up Counterspell. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I guess we do this because I want to have Leyline Binding for Shredder and whatever else. They're not going to attack with this. See if they put it on the bottom, I would imagine. Oh, they kept it on top. Maybe to bin it. Actually, I don't know why they would do that if they're just going to bin it. Leyline Binding in this matchup is huge if we don't get Blood Moon out. And then sideboard gets a lot better for us. They play a land tapped, no attacks, right? I wonder if they just scooped this though. Leyline Binding. They're doing the math and we hit for 12. Nice. Okay. All right. So against Murktide, we want Endurance. We want Dispute. And we want out Subtlety. Say these 6 and then out 2 Forces. Something like that. All right. We're going to mulligan again. Only 1 lander, 3 Leyline Bindings. Not good enough. Oh my god, these hands, dude. This league is like classic Rhinos league, which is just drawing all your footfalls, mulliganing a lot. We're gonna mulligan to 5. This is a 5. I mean, we're gonna keep, I get like a 4. At least we have like scry lands. 1, Like, we get to scry a little bit at least, or surveil. But these hands are just awful. Hopefully they don't... Okay, no turn 1 Ragavan's huge. Endurance, pretty sweet. Pretty wild, though, like all these hands we've had. The last video we 5-0'd, we didn't mull that much, so obviously it helps. See if they shock this in for... Oh, they don't. They look at our card. Okay. All right, well, we're just gonna surveil it away. Thundering Falls. Do not want that. Violent Outburst. So here we could either ice one of their lands so that way they don't get to Expressive Iteration. And if they do, it kind of messes them up. I kind of like that. See if they do something. No, that's a mistake. I'm just going to let them do whatever because we're going to resolve Violent Outburst. And I want to tap their stuff down if they don't do anything. Yeah, that was too quick. I was thinking I wanted to ice them so they couldn't iteration, but then I'm thinking I want to ice at their end step so I could resolve something. But now they didn't cast anything, so we're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. All right, we're just playing Island and pass. I guess we'll just hold up Outburst. Again, we can always any remaining lands at the end of the turn. They're not doing anything, so I guess we're just chilling. We definitely need double green for this Endurance though. So I guess they're sitting on counters. Dash Ragavan. I guess we'll fire, see what they do. This will go get a white source, double green notably. Xander's Lounge. Kind of like that just for 1 mana Leyline Binding because we don't have Guildpact, so we'll just play that out. We have the option to Leyline Binding, Outburst, Endurance, a little bit of everything here. They have another one? Iteration, okay. That's what we were kind of waiting for, but they just never cast it. I guess they just drew it. Good top deck for them. Ragavan. So this could be Spell Pierce. I'm just gonna run out Endurance here. Oh wow, they had what's it called? All right, so they tapped out. Pretty good for us. Unless they have Force, which is very likely. They did not have Force. That's pretty cool. All right, we'll play land, pass. I don't know how many Murktide lists are still running Force and Negation. I feel like it's pretty good right now in the meta, but I'm sure they have other spells they want to cast. No attacks. Crack Misty. We don't have any other Surveil lands, unfortunately. Red, double blue. We kind of have everything, so Mystical Dispute's pretty good. We'll just get our attacks in. We'll hold up Beseiju. I'm not sure what it'll like actually do. It's crazy they still have bolts. I mean, if they trade like Bolt and Monkey for that, I would just double Bolt. Holy crap. And they just take 4. Yeah, that's a thing. That's weird they have bolts still in play. Like, what are they not siding out? Bauble. I really want them to play like a big creature, something to Binding. They have so many lands that Dispute's kind of dead. I guess we're just taking the hit. Oh, Scion would have been nice. Oof, that's a good one. All right, Bauble. Another Leyline Binding. I guess we're going to cast 1 on Monkey. Notably, we only have 1 white source. I guess we didn't think that one through. I thought we should have the steam vents we got should have been like a Hallowed Fountain or something. Unholy Heat. All right, that's only 2 damage. Do they have 2 Unholy Heats? Jeez, okay. Two Rhinos, 4 spells, but we're also not doing anything. Gosh, okay. This is brutal. Guess we're binding that end of turn. They have counter for this. Spell Pierce just to trigger Ledger Shredder. They been to land, which is good for them. So we're just like both flooding here. Oh my gosh, another one. So we're holding Beseiju for Blood Moon, if nothing else. Dash Ragavan. 3rd Binding. Let's see who top decks better. Gosh, not us. I'm assuming this is a land in hand for them. Preordain. I really want to get this something with this dispute, but I don't think we're going to. They top bottomed 1. Iteration. That's a good one. Okay, so maybe we'll get them with something. They're definitely top decking better than us right now. Engineered Explosive. We're totally fine with that. Because we can just Beseiju that before we actually cast Rhinos. Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Leyline of the Guildpact. Cast Leyline. Jeez, what a top deck. So now Scion's a great draw. I mean, Scion was always a good draw, but Scion's an even better draw now. No, another Preordain. Top. Another Preordain. Top again. And we draw the Violent Outburst. So maybe they kind of like do a lot on their turn. Dash Ragavan. Beseiju EE. I mean, this is going to get countered. Like, there's no way it's not, right? I mean, maybe we don't have to do this right now either. But I really don't feel like taking a hit from this. Like, maybe they cast other things, but 4, 5, 6 mana. They probably kept the counterspell on top, yeah. And even if we dispute it, they just pay the 3. Don't hit anything good. Nice. Okay, I mean, we would have liked that. We could... Oh, if they cast that. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully they cast that, actually. They're gonna cast it. There's no way they don't cast that. Yes. Get disputed. After 20 turns. Yeah, we would have liked that Lorien revealed. They're tapped out, so now we can hopefully resolve something. My god, no! The worst draw possible. All right, now we get Ragavan to death. Why couldn't they have hit the Rhinos? All right, they swing in. They hit. No, they hit Shardless. Brutal. They're definitely going to cast that. What do they hit? Hopefully, they hit Counterspell. Sick. Okay. Still a 2-2. Free 2-2 for them. Endurance. I think we just do this now. If they have a Counterspell, they're gonna have mana regardless. Okay, sick. We're gonna target them so they don't have Murktide. We have only 2 Footfalls in there, so it's not huge. This turns off Delirium and future Murktides. We just want to draw Scion. Scion's our best draw. Ledger Shredder into Undash Ragavan. Oh, Dash Ragavan. Okay. Been a Spell Pierce. Sure. Are they not? Did they haste it but not attacking with it? I mean, if they bolted or heated or whatever, I'm glad they kept in all the bolts. Footfalls, suspend. Guys, I can't. I can't. Are you serious? What is this? Draw another Footfalls. They draw a Fiery Eyelet. They get the crack immediately. I guess after dashing? Sure. I think we only get like one more draw. Rhinos are going to be too slow. All right, well, at least they hit a Leyline. That would have been an awful top deck. If we can draw Scion here, resolve a Scion, we should be good. Footfalls, Scion? Shardless. Does this resolve? Just kidding. We don't have any more Footfalls because we friggin' drew them all. I mean, at least it doesn't trigger Shredder, but it blocks Ragavan. But I think we're still dead to the flyer. It's a 2/4. Well, it's going to be a 2-turn clock. Can't believe we drew all the Rhinos. All right, they trigger Shredder. Get him for 3. 2. They bottom. Okay, I guess they have some good stuff in the hand if they didn't have they only been to land there. I'm assuming they have a counter spell. There's no way you would like throw away not a non-land here. All right, we cast this. We need something to block. All right, counterspell, sure. I don't know why they would. Oh my God. All right, we'll pass. God, this deck sucks. Holy crap. Turn 19, guys. Turn 19. It's just one of those leagues. Preordain. All right, let's see if we can mull to nothing and get some good draws. That game was just like really bad mull to 5, and then we just did absolutely nothing. All right, on the play this time. This hand. It's like no easy hands here. Like suspend, hold up dispute. No, this is what I'm talking about. Bend this. We get to start with Leyline. We get to fetch a Surveil land, and we get to play Scion on, depending on what they play, we can go Binding on turn 1, Draco on turn 2, and I mean, if it's just Ragavan, I'm fine with getting a Surveil land because we're going to play Scion anyway. Temple Garden, sure. Hopefully they don't have subtlety. All right, so how do they beat this? They topped 2. All right, well, we run out 2 Scions. I'm not sure. What are they? Let me see. We play another Scion. I don't know what they could have to beat this. Hopefully this isn't greedy and we're just like playing into something. Like the only way they can beat this is if they have a huge Murktide. They bubble us. I mean, we just have Binding regardless. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know how they beat this. Shardless Agent. Just pass. We'll just hold up Endurance, Leyline Binding, whatever. I mean, I guess the only way they beat it is if they Otawara Leyline, but that's their entire turn. That's what I'm imagining they do. I'm going to cast Endurance to force them to do something here. They can't counter this, or they're unable to bounce they're unable to bounce Leyline here. Subtlety. All right, we'll bottom that. All right, so they just lose here. So we're going to Leyline Binding, trigger Shredder, sure. Maybe we should Binding Shredder first and then ice that. That'd be better sequencing, but there's like no way they're getting out of this, even though our next draws are garbage, but it's okay. So we finally got to do the thing. That's pretty cool. Other than like that burn game. All right, so we went 3-2 that league. Definitely could have went 4-1 if we played a little tighter. A couple of misclicks here and there, really bad mulligans and drawing all the Footfalls, which felt terrible, but again, you're playing Rhinos, it's gonna happen. You just kind of move on. Last league, we went 5-0, drew well. This league, not so much. So what do we think about this new Breakout Leyline deck? When we're able to get Leyline out with Scion of Draco, obviously, it was amazing. Anytime we got that, there was no way we were going to lose. If we didn't get Leyline and Scion, the deck is kind of like a normal Rhinos deck anyway, but then you just have worse top decks with Guildpact. Overall, the deck is definitely strong. If we had drawn better, we'd be way more biased to being like, this deck is super amazing, which again, when we drew the good parts, it felt unbeatable. So it's obvious why it has such a high win percentage and it did so well this past weekend. So if you're a Rhinos aficionado, or if you're just looking to play a really powerful deck, definitely try this version out. It's really fun. After this league, I'm still kind of partial to Temur Rhinos, but I think if we had a better league with the Leyline package, I'd probably be more biased towards this version. But I definitely want to keep experimenting with this version. Maybe mix up the sideboard, maybe mix up some numbers with the lands and some flex spots. But overall, super cool deck. Can't wait to try out the Leyline package in this version and maybe in some other decks. So if there's any other decks you want to see with this Leyline package, make sure to leave a comment in the section down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Peace.